Hey guys, it's Michael again here with Home Health Success Academy and 10xpatientreferrals.com, and welcome to our next video here at the presentation video series where we show you guys, how to create the right presentation. Now, by now we talked about listing out objections. What are the objections you're going to be facing? We even talked to you guys a little bit even further more about, trying to make sure you know who you're going to be targeting, trying to create proof tools, these tools that's going to be able to handle the objections at the same time as add value for you. What kind of brochures you should be having. You should know that by now. So these are things that you guys should have at this moment or have decided or is going to be working on as we are in this video. Now this is pretty much the structure of the presentation that you should be doing. So typically what you're going to hear is when you finally have that meeting, you finally maybe have that quick sit down, or maybe that, let's walk down the hallway and tell me about your company. So what you're going to hear a lot of these, social workers, they're going to say, well, tell me about your company. What do you do? Tell me about your company, right? And when we hear that, most marketers will jump to that, to that trap. It's a trap, right? Most people, like to hear about themselves. So when somebody says, hey, tell me about your company, that's when you jump in and you say, well, let me tell you about my company. This is what we do. We provide this, we provide that, we do this for you. We have quality care. Don't jump in the trap, because here's the thing, guys. I want you to pay attention, okay? God gave us with 2 ears and 1 mouth, and pretty much what it means is we should be listening more than talking. That's the truth, right? People like to talk. People are selfish. So the thing is, don't jump into the trap when somebody says, tell me about your company. When somebody says, tell me about your company, I'm like, you know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate this. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say, listen, before I even tell you about my company, I'm sure you've heard home health already, and you're already working with another home health even before I walked in. If you don't let me ask, what are 3 things that made you choose to work with home health agencies in the past? That's a question right there. I'm asking, I want to know about them. Right? That question right there, tell me about what made you work with other agencies in the past, is what we call a buying criteria question. I'm trying to get into this person's head and figure out what made them choose to work with the previous agencies or the current agencies. But if you see the word that I use, tried to work with the previous agencies in the past, I'm trying to put the current agency in the past tense in their mind. That's what I'm trying to do right there. But really is, what made you choose them? Because if they can share 3 things right there alone, I know what makes them tick and makes them want to actually use an agency. So if they share certain things and I can match it and even do better, guess what? I have higher value, right? And so right on the presentation, you have to have what they call the discovery phase, right? Not just give them everything about you, get them to talk about themselves, And then after they do that, my next thing is like, well, how long have you been in this company? Oh, wow, that's amazing. I want them to start telling their story, right? Have them give me. So first thing, what made you choose to work with other agencies? They share that, perfect, right? You're not going to jump in just because they share. You're just going to have a mental note on it, or you can even write it down in front of them to make them see that you're actually interested even more. Right? And then you kind of jump into like, hey, how long have you been working for the company? Now you're in discovery mode, knowing a little bit more personal about them. And then you transition to the next thing, which is what we call, the pain points. If you don't be asking, if, the current agencies that you're working with, if there are things they can improve on, what would 3 things be that they can provide better care for your patients and provide better services for you, right? So by me asking that question, it's me asking them, really, what are the agencies you're working with right now doing wrong? What are they doing wrong? But instead of me asking, saying, hey, how your current agencies, what are they doing wrong? If I ask that question that way, then that's me telling, I'm telling them you made a wrong decision because they chose the agency. So by me asking what can they improve on, it's still me trying to find out where they're wrong, where they're making mistakes, and then how I can actually solve that problem. All right, so that's the big thing in the presentation that a lot of people are missing, right? Because if I know 3 pleasure points and 3 pain points, 6 things right there alone, I can tailor my, I'm sorry, camera just moved there. I can tailor my presentation. Among that, it's custom made a little bit more. But as you are doing this in a long time, you're going to see that there's a lot of similarities, right? So that is how you tailor your presentation. Once you have those 5, 6, 7 items, right? Also, pay attention when you start talking about the pain points, because if you see them, they're really pissed. They start talking about this agency's doing this. You are in a good way, in a good section to be able to transition them if you can solve the problem that the other agencies are causing. So don't jump into this whole thing, into this whole, this whole thing tirade where they say, tell me about your company. Don't start talking about your company. They don't care. Nobody cares about your company. You don't have a relationship with them yet. They're thinking, like, how fast can you leave us so I can eat the food that you brought me, the little desserts? Or, that's what they're thinking. We're thinking about us, me, while they are thinking about the same thing. And we shouldn't care about what we care about. We should care about them. Having empathy towards them is what's an important thing that you as a great marketer, you as an owner and administrator for a company should be doing and should be following up with. All right, so let's get started. Somebody says to you, hey, Michael, tell me about your company. Hey, great question. Thank you so much. Before I tell you about our services, I know you're already working with another home health agency at this moment. And let me ask this question. What made you choose to work with those agencies in the past? I was wondering if you had 3 things. Share that to me. Great, perfect. How long have you been working in this company? Yeah, perfect. Other than yourself, is there any other person that's in charge of discharges as well for patients? Oh, just you. Okay. And since with that, if there are 3 things like those agencies that you're working with right now can improve on, what are those 3 things could be so that they can provide better care for your patients and at the same time is take great care of you. So right there alone, whatever they share, I have now the leverage, right? Knowledge is power. I have knowledge that I got from them now. And so, in a previous video series, we talked about, prospecting. Before you start prospecting, you should have what they call a CRM system. Before you're in the presentation section, you should have a CRM system, those customer relation management systems, all these fine points that you're picking up from this person, all the information should be entered in the CRM system. It allows you to make sure you don't forget and you won't have problems remembering what you need to do in your presentations. All right, so that is just the basic, sequencing of your presentation. Once you have all that knowledge, now you can transition into, how your company can provide better care than the other companies by targeting the pleasure points and the pain points. Now, remember, the first question we asked, right, was how, what made you choose to work with the other agencies, right? So we started with the pleasure point, and then the end point we talked about, how can they improve on to provide better care for you, to provide better care for the patients and take good care of you, right? But when we start doing the presentation section, when we start talking about our company and how we can provide those solutions, we jump into the pain point first and then the pleasure point, right? And we expand upon those. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Practice, drill, rehearse, write down these things, figure out on your own, sit down, don't just do it yourself, go ahead and have a rah-rah session with the owners, with the administrators, with the DON, and put these things together, because if you can have a great presentation, then you're pretty much 1 second, 1 minute, 1 day close to getting those referrals, okay? So let's move on to the next part of the video series. We want to be able to invite you to our 10xpatientreferrals.com, where we have our online home health marketing academy that's going to be able to help either a home health, home care, or hospice agency increase referrals, increase their census, and create a profitable company. Now, at this very moment, you're going to have access to these information through these training, marketing to physicians, how to get to hospitals, how to be able to get into nursing homes, and much, much more at a month-to-month basis with no contracts needed. It's just month to month. Now, guess what? We are offering you guys for a limited time 50% off any one of our plans. Just choose which one is going to be able to work better for you. So just stop by the 10xpatientreferrals.com at any given moment. So these are the plans that are available, whether it's the gold, the silver, or the platinum plan. Most people go for the gold plan, but it's up to you what's going to work for you. We definitely want to be able to have you come in and work with us. So here's 2 choices. Go to 10xpatientreferrals.com or click the link down below. Take advantage of this right now at this very moment and sign up with us. We would like to thank our sponsors of this video, and over here at 10xpatientreferrals.com, our goal is to provide you guys amazing information on every single one of our videos. So medicationreminderprogram.com provides daily medication reminders for your patients. They call your patients twice a day to remind them to take their medications. What happens is a top reason of hospitalization for senior citizens is not taking their medications. So this program allows you to be able to keep your patients and not lose any revenue, but at the very same time it allows you to stand out when you are marketing to other referral sources because you're providing more services, more programs than the competition around you guys. The next thing we want to be able to share with you guys is they have 3 different packages available for you at this very moment. Choose which one works for you. If you're an agency that's just starting up and you have less than 10 patients, you can go with the silver plan. Or if you have 50 patients, you can go with the gold plan. Or if you have up to 100 patients, it is only the choice to use the platinum plan. But guess what? It's up to you which one works for you guys. For a cost of as little as 33 cents per patient a day, it is worth everything for you guys. The next thing is homecareansweringservice.com. It's an answering services for your agency. So if you want to be able to have us handle all the calls for you in the weekends or the off hours when your business office is closed, we can definitely do that. Or we can even answer your calls for you during the day as well. Allows you to be able to do everything for your company. So homecareansweringservice.com is your solution for answering your calls on a timely manner. Now, before we continue on to the video, just need to be able to take a few seconds of your time. And so we want to be able to ask you a question. Are you looking to gain more referrals for your agency, your home health, your home care, your hospice agency? We want you to be able to join us at our Online Marketing Bootcamp that has over 7.5 hours of training. When you actually watch our bootcamp and join our Online Marketing Bootcamp training, so sign up for a limited time at 10xpatientreferrals.com